The challenges on the horizon for Rice County are not unique to Rice County, and that's cost of living and accessibility of resources. We have a major need for mental health resources in our county. We have a major need for addiction treatment centers and options in Rice County. People who are struggling are going through enough without having to drive an hour away to get the help that they need. We should have those things in Rice County, and we need those things in Rice County in order to serve people here. We need people advocating for folks who aren't necessarily able to get to board meetings, whether it's an accessibility issue, they need to work, they don't have access to reliable transportation. These are all issues that the county can work to improve, yet people aren't able to advocate that they need to be improved because of those barriers. The other biggest underlying threat that I can see in our community, again, is not unique to Faribault and Rice County, and that is an assault on the truth, a simple breakdown of the idea that there is objective fact and reality, which sounds a little heady for a county commissioner race, but that's been one of the biggest challenges that I've seen, not only as a candidate, but as a planning commissioner and a heritage preservation commissioner and a community member. We need people to stand up for truth and to stand up with integrity, as simple as that sounds. And the truth is the truth, even if it's unpopular and it's not what people want to hear. We need our elected officials to stand up for that. I will take action based on evidence, based on truth, and I will share that truth with Rice County regardless of what it might mean for me electorally, because it's the truth. And that's what people need to stand up for, and people will eventually find me to be working in good faith on behalf of our community. I love this community too much to try and deceive it, to try and pull one over for my gain or someone else's gain, because that's not why I'm doing this. One of the most common products of lies is division, and it is hate. That is the other major threat to the future of Rice County. It won't be news to anyone watching this that there are divisions in our broader society, and Faribault and Rice County, we're not immune to that. But oftentimes those lies that are fostered lead us to hate our neighbors. They lead us to hate people different from us. Lies lead us to believe that someone else is worse than us, that someone is perceived as an outsider is inherently a danger to us. We're all human beings. We have differences of ideas, of backgrounds, of belief systems, but we are all human beings, and everyone can have a home in Faribault regardless of all those other factors. And the truth is, Faribault has always been many things. It's always been many cultures, it's always been many different ideas, it's always been many industries, many religions. It's always had a variety. We've never been a homogeneous community. That has been true since our founding. One thing that I would like to make true again is that hate has no place in Faribault. This is a little different than the other issues I talk about. I try and focus on the struggles of everyday people. I try to focus on economic issues and systemic issues. But truly, the issues of lies, the issues of hate, those are also things where we need leadership. We also need leadership to stand up and say what the truth is. We need leadership to stand up and simply say that hate is wrong. As simple as that sounds. Part of standing up for the truth is standing up against bigotry, because bigotry does not exist without lies. As simple as it might be, part of our expectation for our elected officials should be to stand up against lies, and hate. And that's what I will endeavor to do, because we can't let hate lead Faribault. We must stand by the truth, and we must endeavor to unify our community.
Wow, another great question. Well, I'm going to take back 3 years, our past 3 years, and what we've been through as a society and as a country. It's like the wheels fell off the cart. The pandemic, the restrictions, the limitations, the government regulating businesses. So many small businesses were just crushed during this pandemic and never came back. Our freedoms were pecked away at. The pandemic was real, it was intense, but I think the government overreached. I think people needed to be able to decide if they wanted to go to church, if they wanted to go out for dinner, and businesses were allowed to stay open. I think that was wrong, especially in hindsight, seeing what we did. And I'm leave it up to the people. You know, if people are uncomfortable, my God, don't do it. But don't tell the guy at the coffee shop that he's done, or the guy with a small business across the street that he can't, or don't close our churches down, keep our liquor stores open. I mean, it was just bizarre. So the last 3 years have taught us, expect the unexpected. Now, what we have right in front of us right now, inflation at a 40-year high. Gas prices never been higher. People are being squeezed. There's a lot of paycheck to paycheck people in Rice County, and they're all getting squeezed. So I think taxes. I think we're going to be very careful with spending our money. And I'm not talking about shortchanging the essentials, the protection and the safety. I'm talking about the other peripherals. Where can we save? How can we relieve some of this burden on the everyday person right now during these tough times? And the next 3 years, we don't know. I mean, look at the past 3. We could have never guessed it was going to be what it was. So I think just having a very conservative approach with our tax dollars and appreciating what we are spending. Being in the private sector my entire life, I've always had to work with budgets. I've raised my family on a single budget. I know the difference between wants and needs. And I'm not talking about skimping on the needs, but I'm talking about taking a hard look at what we're spending our money on and what it's costing the taxpayers.